Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Happiness Journey with Dr. Dan podcast, where every journey is worth living. My name is Dr. Dan, and I'm your host for today's episode. I'm a bilingual neuro-linguistic programming and cognitive behavior psychotherapist specializing in anger management issues, both court-appointed and private, marriage counseling using the EFT method, dissociative disorder, narcissistic personality disorders, depression, anxiety, dream analysis, and also provide life, business, and retirement coaching support. I provide individual one-on-one sessions in both French and English, and also do group settings. If you need any assistance, reach out to DMV Therapy and Coaching Services at 301-325-1550, and our website can be found at lifecoachdanamzalike.com. Today, I'm very excited to have for our sixth episode of season 16, a very special guest and Creativity-Awareness Educator, helping people overcoming the obsession about materialism and comparison, Mr. Michaell Magrutsche. And just like every of my past episode, I will leave it up to the guests to properly introduce themselves, as no one can do a better job. Michaell, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you for having me here. My name is Michaell Magrutsche. I was born in Vienna. I was a sick child, and then when I hit the school, I found out I was extreme neurodiverse. I couldn't fit in. I couldn't learn. I had to repeat. You know how it is in Europe. You have to stay. You don't get pulled with you, so you have to repeat grades. And I repeated, I think, 2 or 3 grades, and then I couldn't repeat anymore, and so I had to go fend for myself, saying, do whatever you want to do. And I landed in creativity, which realized that I was feeling good there. I was feeling accepted there. When you create a piece of theater or anything, it doesn't matter what gender you are, what race you are. And that's why I always am a strong advocate for both neurodiversity and art. And the most people that are neurodiverse are in the art. Mm-hmm. So because that's basically, I say art is the blueprint what's humanly possible, because there is no preconceived notions of judgment, because art just wants to be created. And it just I could never fit into any system. I wrote 6 books. And I have to have them read to me from the computer, because I have a hard time reading. Okay. So what I found is, I hit the wall like everybody else till I was 50. I just kept hitting the wall. You do it. And I had system success. I was working with Robert Evans, who did co-produced with him. The Godfather, he did The Godfather, the Chinatown, and whatever. I was also a Newport Beach Arts Commissioner. I was in front of magazines with my art, and so on. But it was not fulfilling. And that's our key word, Dan, doctor. So that's fulfillment. And I found out with around 50, and literally nothing has changed. I didn't have a relationship. I didn't get a better relationship or a relationship. I didn't get more money. I didn't get a better job. I didn't get anything changed. Nothing changed. And that's why I always propagate that awareness is key. Because once you're aware, you can't go back. And your stuff. So once you're aware you're a man, you're a man. There's nothing to do. You can change, but you know what you are. And so I realized, because in my last book, to separate, I couldn't believe 97% or 99% of artists are worldwide on the poverty line. They exist on the poverty line. And I couldn't understand. I said, I got to dig into that. And I wrote my last book, Smart of Art, where I separated the art creation process, the process of it, that journey, if you say that in another language, to the product. Okay. And I found out that the product is like every other product in the world. It's like I create a bicycle, or I create whatever widget, and people like it, everybody will buy it. If people don't like it, you do another thing. But as an artist, you're putting heart and soul in it. And so it's very hard for artists. Businessman says, okay, I try bicycles, don't work, I sell suits. but as an artist, you put heart and soul in it, because you try to get a communication with your non-physical. So you're non-physical. Oh, it's like when you want to do a podcast. Oh, I want to do a podcast. So how am I going to do it? And so you have a conversation with your unseen self, or higher self, some people say, and the product is the statue. The product is the painting. But once it is the painting, the podcast or the statue, then you're dependent on other people to judge it and deem you as, being a podcaster, being an artist, being whatever, a mechanic or whatever. So I realized in that, following that book, that I have to separate everything. I have to separate, am I living so where are we? Are we nature or are we systems? And I found out, with checking, everybody knows that, but I really got clear on it. We are part of nature. And so my thesis is we're a collective collaborative creator animal from nature. That's why we have New York wasn't built by one man. Singapore wasn't built by one man. Google wasn't built by one man. So we're collaborative in creators. That's our strengths. That's why there is so much of what we do, what we build. And there is system. And the system is man-made systems, habitats where we hang out, where we go, and where we have cultures. So when I go from my religious group, that's one culture. Then I go to my work, that's another culture. Then I go to the government and do my driver's license, that's another culture. Correct. So I constantly adapt so it takes a lot of energy of humans, living beings, to adapt to all these environments, because we usually adapt to nature and that goes slow, right? If it rains, we go under the bush, but it's a slow process. So this brought me in to looking at language, because language is, it's a system. And I thought, okay, in man-made systems, it's all about making goals, achieving those goals, surpassing those goals. And what is the reward? And this is what got me to fulfillment. I said, you get a little inch of fulfillment. And then I looked at the lies that we tell us. There's nobody to blame. Like, it should be sunny every day. If it's not, then get a 24/7 from Dr. Dan, coaching. It's the life isn't just pretty. It's not pretty for any living being, because you're constantly growing, expanding, and then you're contracting when you get older. But you basically see that in nature. It's not always fun, but still it's way more easier than it is in a system, because the system is based on a lack. Mm-hmm. Everything is a lack. So more money, more success. Oh, you got your doctor title. Oh, great. But now you got to do more. So you think, oh, if I'm a doctor, then I can just exist and help people and whatever. No, you have to do more. It's never enough. And I think that is this lack, this underlying unconscious lack, that we have to have more money, bigger, more contacts, more clients, is actually conditioning us that we are not worthy. Because just look at the AI, it's praised as our savior, but AI is the same as a computer. A computer was, whenever the computer came out, and the cell phone, which is a computer, they say it's going to be, what are you going to do with your time then? What are you going to do with all the money you're going to make, And we have less money, we have less time, and we have, 60% of Americans live for paycheck to paycheck. 74% have jobs that they don't like. So
more than that,
a lot of work for you and me, but I don't want that kind of work, to help people and bail them out and then they go back in right away back in. That's why I say awareness. That's why I'm an awareness educator, because once you know it, you know your own solution for your own life. You're one, and this is very important. You're one of 1 billion. You're not one one like 1 billion. And the system, any man-made system says, okay, if you don't work good, then just, I'm going to exchange you for somebody else.
Yes, correct.
And that stresses, but in nature doesn't create a living being that isn't worthy. Nature is perfect. It's proven by science that nature doesn't make mistakes. So nobody that is existing in this world makes mistakes.
Yes, I see what you mean.
You know, and there's no mistakes in nature. You just adapt and balance. You know, something falls down, you pick it up. It's not like, oh my God, this fell down. Oh my God, what am I going to do? What my boss thinking? What the team thinks?
Yes.
You just pick it up and do it. And nobody's upset. And so to realize how do you get to fulfillment? Because that's the key word where we want to go. Is number one, realize you are a part of nature, but you also create an animal that created an habitat where you can be in a high-rise building with 200 people, you know? So we have both, but we have to give priority to our humanness, human-centric. So I call that to be human-centric. Never forget that you are human-centric, and that should be the priority in every decision. You shouldn't feel guilty if you have to care for your kid as a mother and can't go to work. But everybody does, and this is where the stress comes in, and this is where the disease comes in, because you are a human animal of nature, but you act as in the culture of systems, and that creates tremendous stress, and you adapt to that, and it costs you life energy, and that's why everybody's tired and no energy, because you constantly do that. So how do you get to fulfillment?
But here's the thing, Michael, is that society have built us to think this way. When you look at social media, when you look at your neighbors, when you look at your and everything of that sort, you always want to be able to build some kind of like, well, they succeeded, how come I didn't? Or they have a better life, they have more cars, they have a bigger home, they have this, they have that, and I don't. So if society have built this kind of like environment, how do we detach ourselves from it?
Because the others are not responsible for how I feel. Because you know there are superstars that kill themselves, and they are loved and cared, and they have everything. This is just a blinder that we have on, that we put ourselves. Look at what we do with social media. But this is because of the lack. We are pushed into this lack, you know, that everybody, you know, tries to survive and keeps the hierarchy, because survival also means keep the hierarchy in your system. So if I'm middle class or I'm upper class or a millionaire, I need to be in that. And the problem is that that we came to a point today, which you and I talked before about that the billionaire and the beggar have the same problem. They worry about the lack of money. They're both, because the billionaire wants to keep his hierarchy, and the thing wants to get out of his hierarchy, the beggar. And so this is this lack that we think the other, because what is social media? So people are stressed, so they want to because we are by DNA inclusive. We are inclusive. We are herd animal, a social herd animal. So but because we don't hang out anymore, we are through computer. Then the COVID pushed the whole thing to a limit, yes, where we are totally separated. We have, I mean, this is the best we can do, you and I, you know, through technology. But I'd rather, you know, meet you in person, because there's so much more energy and information exchanged if I would meet you in person. But we are unaware of that. We are unaware that experience a concert live is something different. It is not about if you like the songs or not, but the humans actually are a big part, the other humans, of that concert, you know? And when you hear sing 1,000, 10,000 people the same song, it moves you. When you go in a museum and you see, it's not, oh, the museum is so great. It's just what moves you in a museum is, oh my God, this is humanity. This is unbelievable. This is what other people did, not I, but this is what the pharaohs did. And this, oh my God, that limitlessness is blowing you away. But in systems, you got to be very cubicle. You got to be, okay, this is what you do. And this is what, because systems are we created systems. We are the gods of systems.
Yes.
We're very, we did it very, very limited, but we can change it. We are the gods, so we can change it. We don't have to, have only the moments where we feel super happy and the system relevant. Those photos, selfies, with the champagne and the party and having total fun, those are the myth of systems. Mm-hmm. They're not the myth of humans. I mean, if anybody in 1,000 years comes and looks at it, oh my God, what a great time. Everybody was happy when he looks at the, at the social media. But this is not life. It's good that you share that. And obviously you're not going to tell how horrible your life is, but you tell how great your life is. But it's not the truth. It's the same way I always say in porno movies, they should have a disclaimer in front of it. This is fantasy. This is not reality, but this is our drives. It's the ideal to man, we don't have normal sex. We must have phenomenal sex. What about normal sex and enjoying that, and being in the moment and milking the moment, versus having amazing sex that I can tell everybody. And I think there's the thing, the fulfillment lies in us. And one way to get there is like what we're doing right now. We're listening to each other. Being with other humans is tremendous, even though it's the hardest thing to do, but is the most to be, because you have to use all your 5 senses to communicate, or 6 senses, the 6th sense, if you resonate with that person or not. And you keep adapting to keep a conversation going, to keep an exchange going. And it's not about who is right. See, there we can also, is it system relevant? That would be, I'm right and you're wrong, or you are wrong and I'm right, So no, human-centric means a dance. You and I dance. And it doesn't matter if I lead or not, we still exchange. And that's where the fulfillment comes. And if you just observe that exchange with others, not just being right or pretending, oh, he's going to like me or not. He's going to like you or not. You have no power over this.
Yeah, but the thing, Michael, is that there's a lot of leaders and a lot of followers. And that's the thing. So we're in a society that has to have that hierarchy, as you were talking about. So there's not really, for people, they say, if I don't make the money, someone else will, and I'm going to be poor. So they always have that kind of like focus on what I can get, what's in it for me, not what's in it for you, because no one really cares about that. So the reality is that we're so obsessed with what you personally, Michael, can bring for me, and you and others may be obsessed with what I can bring for them. So again, it's very unstable, and I think we're in a society where scarcity, the mindset that we have,
the lack,
exactly, and because of the lack, we always are too afraid of losing what we already have, or not gaining what we're seeking for.
Can you think when you are stressed? Can you actually contemplate yourself, or any business, yourself, your wife, anything? When I put you in a corner, why are animals biting off their hands, their legs? You are in a position we have put. There's nobody to blame, because the moment you blame, you lose the power. Right. We are putting ourselves in a position that we continuously in a fight-flight mode.
Yes.
Because of that continuous lack. Also, you said the system. You said society. Yeah, the society is a system. So if that's a system relevant, in order to system relevant, I need to have an Oscar to be a filmmaker. I need to have the accolades. I have to be a CEO of a company. But tomorrow, if I'm not tomorrow, look how many superstars is. Nobody talks about you. Mm-hmm. It's just there's a very artificial system. And I say this when I talk to people, I say, when you have a system problem, and I'm a political advisor and stuff. So when I have a system problem, look at where's the human problem. If I have a human problem that I cannot solve, look how nature solves it. So how does nature solve jealousy, rage, fights? When you look at 2 animals fight, they don't fight till the death, unless they want to eat each other. But if they fight for dominance, the dominance is established and back. And nobody wants to be a leader in, you know what? A leader is a born leader, because the leader nobody would like to be a leader if he was challenged constantly, like in nature. A leader of a wolf pack is continuously challenged. You know why people in systems want leaders? Because they don't have to do what systems requirements are. They have to don't do the dirty work. They want to be leaders. That's why nobody says, I want to be a good team member. Nobody says that. Everybody says, I want to be a leader. So there's the dirty work that systems created, to fill out the forms, to do all the, going around and get through bureaucracy. You want to be a leader, that you have an assistant to do this. What is the worst job? Assistant, because that has to do everything. And the assistant does it to become a leader. We play the game, and if we are not aware of what dance we're playing, we getting stepped on the toes. And it's time that we actually start living in a moment, stop with the mind construct, less thinking, and just observe yourself and your partner or the opposite side. And it's not about being right, because in nature there's no right or wrong. It's not about right or wrong. It's not about the right affiliation with a party. It's not about